What's going on, everybody? It's FREEDO here for another news roundup video. The Horizon Lunar Colony map is set to go live next week Tuesday on the 20th. Tweeted out to the Play Overwatch Twitter and uploaded to their YouTube channel is a behind-the-scenes video giving insight to the map creation and their enthusiasm and direction to have lore elements tied into the areas of the map, recreating scenes from the Recall trailer. And honestly, they've outdone themselves with this one. I think it's their most lore immersive map yet, with a close second being the new 3v3 maps, which included cute lore elements like Sombra's Hacking Den, a personal favorite of mine being a newly formed Sombra player. Also, we found out the definitive answer to the unyielding question, does Winston prefer crunchy or smooth peanut butter? Of course, all of the above. Winston is not going to complain if peanut butter is involved. Now, if you don't know, there's been some glitchy issues with Reinhardt's hammer that seems to be tied with latency, making it weird when the swings connect. A similar thing I think was happening with the Genji blade back in the day. Something with these melee swings and the connection has been putting a wrench into the works of the Overwatch game client. But my fellow main tanks, fear not. It looks to be the case that a fix will be coming into the patch that's going to launch with the Lunar Colony map. Along with that are all of the Reaper, McCree, and Roadhog changes, which as far as we know right now are going through as they were tested on the PTR. So you've got 1 week flanking Roadhogs to keep getting your somewhat debatably cheesy insta-kills, and then after that you're going to have to play it in a more disciplined way. An interesting note about the Roadhog change that I think has to be nailed home, that you'll expect to see when the game goes live next week, that I have to clear up, is that the rework of Roadhog might make him worse overall, slightly, but undoubtedly it fits him better into the current meta. And the reason why I say that is because we're in a very dive, flanky, zippy mobility target meta for the majority of the high end of the game, whether the pro scene, high-end matchmaking, etc. And with that being the case, a more flexible and dexterous Roadhog is stronger in that meta, but weaker maybe against some other things that he used to be able to do quite easily, like big burst damage against tanks he's probably not going to be as good at. But with an extra shot and a higher fire rate, he's going to be able to deal with Tracer specifically much better. He's objectively better against Tracer, who, if you look at the pro scene and the meta in general, doesn't really have a strong counter to her. I think Sombra's a pretty good pick, but I think Roadhog will fit in there too, because in the live version of the game, of course, if she just dodges Hook, she's pretty much set to farm Pulse Bomb off of his massive head hitbox, and that changing along with the more dexterous nature of his weapon means that he's going to be better against Tracer than he is on live currently, because remember, he still gets one-shots on Tracer. The reduced damage of his PTR shot can still deal with the Tracer. Also, I saw some spreadsheet floating around saying that there was a very minimal number of heroes that Roadhog could still one-shot. Force Gaming did, I think, a better scientific test of this, with the proof actually attached showing that the characters on the left were proven to have no effect and still able to one-shot reliably every single time, and the characters on the right had a chance to survive with a sliver of HP. I'm not really sure how that misinformation got out from the spreadsheet. I'm guessing that it wasn't tested with the melee added into the hook shot combo, but nevertheless, all things considered, the new Hog will be less all-in and be more suitable to deal with the current meta, and instead of seeing very wide-ranging performances from Hogs, where either they insanely carry and take over the game or constantly feed and do nothing, there's a bit more of a streamlined, stable output that they can give to the team when played well. But of course, like we've said in our previous videos, Flanking Hog is dead. RIP 2017. Other cool changes that we expect are going to be coming in next week's patch are new reticle options. Yesterday, Jeff Kaplan announced that they're going to be adding more options to changing your reticle, which he didn't explain yet, but did say for sure there's going to be more color options, and asked of the community to give suggestions of colors they'd like to see. Now, the color changes are cool, but what I'm even more excited about is the ability to put a gap in the crosshair. You don't know how important this is to so many different FPS veterans. It's insane. The almost non-existent pixel gap that exists on the current crosshairs is so hard to play with that a lot of players switch to the dot even if they really want a crosshair, just so they can more accurately line up a pixel shot. Without enough of a gap to be able to see what you're actually aiming at when you're trying to hit a pixel head from miles away or something, or a small little tracer zipping about, can make it very easy to misjudge where you're actually aiming, and putting just a small bit of a gap there. I mean, McCree's getting a buff, basically, is what I'm trying to say. indirectly just with these crosshair changes, and you think I'm joking about that. I'm not. Also, I would like to see, for instance, the circle crosshair, if you could remove the dot from that for the same reason that I'm explaining now. Just getting like an empty circle so you could put that, hover it over the face of your target, look them dead in the eye as you pull the trigger. That would be kind of cool. But also fun crosshairs as well. We've seen this in many different games over the last like 20 or so years. Really wacky crosshairs that are more aesthetic and fun and goofy maybe can be a lot of fun too, but just adding the basic practicality of a gap means wonders to me, so please have that be an option, Jeff. And if so, you'll make this Overwatch fan a very happy boy. On to more glitch news. You may have experienced a weird interaction when playing Mercy and thinking that you have all of those characters lined up for the res, and some of them get missed out for some reason. You start to question yourself, did I miss them? Did they respawn too quick? Did I mistime it? Well, sometimes that might be the case, but other times it may be this weird glitch with Mercy res that isn't counting it on some targets. Mercy main legend Eevee tested this out. When trying to recreate it, it seems to be some issue with the order in which that the characters die when you fly to them, and there looks to be a few different issues at play. It's kind of complicated, and it looks like it's difficult to reproduce or to avoid these bugs. So for now, Mercy players are just gonna have to deal with it until it gets fixed, and I hope Blizzard tends to it quickly because, of course, the difference between getting all of your teammates back with that res and one less can be the difference between winning or losing a game. So be careful, Mercy players. Next story is a bit of a PSA that I didn't even know about, so I thought I would let you know quick. There's been some talk about cheaters and aimbots being an issue in Overwatch. I personally haven't interacted with more than I think one that was maybe questionable. It doesn't seem to be a pervasive issue like it is in other games, luckily. But if you do encounter a player that seems to be using an aimbot, you could submit a formal hack report on the Blizzard website. You probably should report them in game too, but I'm sure submitting to the website gives them a more direct message that they can more quickly see, because likely in game you're going to get a lot of false reports, because whenever a player gets mad about something, they might just report the enemy player that's wrecking them and not hacking at all, but just beating them in the game, and you're probably going to get a lot of false reports that way. If it's as easy as just hitting a couple buttons, whereas filling out this form takes a bit more time, a bit more investment, less prone to abuse, at least in theory. So I hope this helps lead to cracking down and enforcing players that find it necessary to ruin games with their hacking shenanigans. Last story of the day is we're going to revisit the loot box anniversary event fiasco. I'm not going to repeat things that I've already said before, but I was surprised to see that there still are many forum posts that keep cropping up in relation to feedback about the anniversary skins, them being too expensive, getting duplicates is frustrating. And my question is, to our audience, is this a vocal minority, or do you think this is the majority opinion? I'm not exactly sure, because even if a sentiment is overrepresented on a forum, that doesn't mean, of course, it's representative of the community at large. Because the silent majority just gleefully opens loot boxes for fun, it might not feel so upset about not getting every single item in a particular event. So I want you to let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Are you upset about the anniversary event? Is the duration too short? Of course, with the event ending today, and would have already ended by the time this video goes live, I'm sure there's many of you right now that are saying, oh shoot, I forgot to buy all my favorite skins. So maybe it's not a good time to ask you. Okay, I can't lie to you guys. I may have paused recording the video to go buy all my skins. I got most of them and most of the dances, but I also did buy 100 loot boxes, played the game a ton, and played the arcade mode. And the thing for veteran players who play the game quite a bit is something that I don't think a lot of people bring up, is that when a new event comes out, it's helpful to have played the game a lot in the past and unlocked a lot of the other stuff, because it will have built up your currency to a point where you can stack currency quite quickly by getting any given loot box. What I'm saying is, yes, I know it's annoying to get the same duplicates over and over again when you're hoping to get a specific skin, but there are ways to pretty easily grind out the system if you took advantage of the double XP weekend or do your weekly arcade plays. And to be honest, the arcade's a ton of fun. For all types of players, a little bit more competitive, I think 3v3 is where it's at, but the other modes offer what I think is probably the best casual experience that Overwatch has to offer, even better than quick play, because quick play feels a little too difficult sometimes, like a pseudo-competitive match since it's kind of that rule set. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, and especially if you're not the type that would go onto the Overwatch forums and wouldn't leave criticism normally, but are sort of the positive, silent majority, leave a comment, because I'm just curious. Are the forums representative of the majority of the players, or do more people align with me who feel like everything's kind of in its place? We're a little bit spoiled with Blizzard's game. I think sometimes it's very easy to forget how exploitative, unfair, undercooked many other games are out there, and Overwatch isn't in that state, so I can't really say I can complain. But that's just me though. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. That's been it for today's news roundup video. I hope you did enjoy. If you did, please hit the like button. It really does help us out, lets us know that you're enjoying the content. If you haven't already, please hit subscribe because we upload each and every day. So you're gonna wanna hit the bell icon so that you get notified when our videos go live. Linked in the description, you can check out our Twitter and our Discord server where you can interact with our community and find teammates to pair up with. That's been it for me. I've been FREEDO for Your Overwatch. I'll see you guys next time.